All right, our next question from Kevin Pierpont to CornyDriveThru at
How many
gmail.com.
Pierponts have we got going
We
on?
haven't asked this question yet.
Did we not ask this guy's question?
No, you jumped in and said you had breaking news that some bootleg manager of China who's passed away years ago is saying that she was the champion or going to be the champion in 2000.
All right. I'm aware of what I just talked about. I just didn't know what we just talked about.
Here's Kevin Pierpont's question. What was the best lineup of any of the four horsemen?
Best depending on what measure. The original lineup was Ole Anderson, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Ric Flair with J.J. Dillon as their manager. And the reason why that was the lineup was just because that was the top heels. And as we know, especially on Atlanta TV, the top heels used to get sent out in group interviews quite a bit. And Ole was the only one that didn't that fit as far as the personalities. They all went out together and they all fucking hung out together. Ole was not of that generation and he was not a bar guy. But then when they got Luger, you know, let's face it, at that point, Lex in the ring was not as good as Ole as far as a performer, but looked better and was the blue chip guy. And probably they got most of the attention with that group because 86 was the hottest year. But then...
Well, no, Luger didn't join until the beginning of 87.
That's right.
Because remember, Ole, all of a sudden, Tully got mad because Ole took off to go see a snot-nosed kid.
Yeah, a snot-nosed kid, Bryant. But anyway, the point is, in that frame of they were the first for about a year. It was Ole. They got most of the attention because they were first. But then Luger come in, and he was more visually impressive, and they featured him quite a bit because they'd signed him to a contract, so they had to feature him. And the thought was, surrounding him with Ric Flair and Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson and J.J. Dillon, how can you not learn in the ring and physically and mentally and the whole 9 yards? And he did. He got better. But then when they got Wyndham, that would have been by far the best working variation of the team because that was four of the best workers in the entire business. But by that point, the Horsemen had kind of cooled off because it wasn't new and fresh anymore and business wasn't as strong. So there's points to be made for all, and let's face it, whatever they did and whoever they put in it once Turner Broadcasting took over doesn't count because it doesn't count because that wasn't real Horsemen.
Oh, like the lineup of Flair, Arn, Ole as kind of the manager, Woman kind of as the manager with Sid, and the return of Barry Windham.
No, we tried to reunite the Horsemen after TBS took over, and that was prevented by Jim Herd, and they never got it right after that. But that's what I would say. It depends on what you're looking for.
I feel bad for Paul Roma because he was actually pretty talented and pretty good in the ring, and because they made him a Horseman for no good reason.
Then everybody hated him.
Everyone hated
fuck
him.
You.
Yeah.
You fucking can't lick the Horseman's shoes. Have you ever licked a horseshoe, Brian?
I have not.
They don't taste very good.
You've licked a horseshoe?
I didn't say that.
Were you hanging out with the Scufflin' Hillbillies?
I was hanging out with Chuck Connolly over in Ashland. Cousin Alfred never did show up, though.